Hello everyone, welcoming you to Saurabh Sir's classes. And today we are looking at the Azim Premji University M Economics 2021 entrance paper. Referring to the figure below, if y equals to log of x, then which of the following is true? So we have a graph that is given over here, and if we look at the options, option A says the relation between the two variables is best depicted by graph A, which is wrong because it's a linear graph and log is not a linear transformation. Option B, the relationship between two variables is depicted by B. B is again not the case because it's convex, uh, and log is not. Now coming to option number C, the relationship between the two variables is best depicted by graph C, which is true because it's concave. So your option to this is option number C to question number 24. So now moving on to question number 25 of the Azim Premji University and Economics paper. So suppose the random variable y is such that the probability of y is equals to 1 for some real number c, then the variance of y is how much? So that means it's a sure event basically. So probability of y equals to c is equals to 1. That means the expectation of y will also be c, and variance of y is expected value of y minus expectation of y whole square. Now y takes only one value which is c, and expectation of y is also c, so that turns out to be 0, and that is your option number C in this case. Now moving on to question number 26 of the Azim Premji University paper 2021 entrance. So Fatima is a scientist and works for Weather Board of India and is involved in making daily weather forecasts for national television. She is known to be very good at her work. Mohan is a salesman who works for a private company. Both Fatima and Mohan do not like to get wet in rain, but they also do not like carrying an umbrella unnecessarily. So, suppose whether it rains today is independent of whether it rains yesterday, and we use R to denote the event that it rains today. So, using standard notations in probability theory, consider the following statement. So, statement one is expectation of R, that is, it will rain, given Fatima is carrying an umbrella today, is greater than the expected value that it will rain, given Mohan is carrying an umbrella today. Statement 2, both of them carried an umbrella yesterday, that expectation is the same. Okay, so it's basically a point of expectation. So R denotes, what is R? R basically denotes the event that it will rain, right? So let us say that it's basically a kind of binary variable, that it 1 if it rains today and 0 if it doesn't rain today. Okay, and let's say raining today will happen with probability p, and not raining today will happen with probability 1 minus p. So what is the expectation of R? Is basically 1 into p plus 0 times 1 minus p. So the expectation in this case, in our particularly this question, is nothing but the probability of raining, right? And notice one crucial statement that we'll be needing, that suppose that whether it rains today is independent of whether it rained yesterday. That means basically this probability is same. That means let's say that if Pt denotes the probability of raining in period t, then Pt is equals to P for all t. So it doesn't matter. It's independent in some sense. Okay, fine. So it's independent. All right. So now let us have a look at the options first to understand how are we going to go about it. So if you look at the options, statement 1 is there in all of them. Otherwise, you won't be able to mark any of them. So statement 1 is true anyway. Without any prior judgment, you can straight away conclude that because statement 1 is common in all the four options. So it has to be true, otherwise, you can't mark any option. So now, if you understand this, it's given that the expectation of R given Fatima is carrying an umbrella today is greater than the expectation of R given Mohan is carrying an umbrella today. So clearly, what we understand is that since Fatima works in the weather board, she's taking kind of a more informed decision as compared to Mohan, who is a salesman. And note another important thing, that suppose whether it rains today is independent of whether it has rained yesterday or not. So today's decision is kind of independent of yesterday's decision. The degree of rain has nothing to do with it. And whether it will rain or not will determine whether the person will carry an umbrella or not. So if this statement is true, it kind of basically tells you that okay, since Fatima works with the weather board, she is taking more informed decision of carrying an umbrella. So that expectation or that probability is basically higher in comparison to an umbrella being carried by Mohan. So statement 1 is unambiguously true. Now let us go to statement 2 and keep in mind that statement 1 is true. So expectation that Fatima was carrying an umbrella yesterday is equals to the expectation that of rain given Mohan is carrying an umbrella yesterday. Now definitely this shouldn't have been the case because try to understand this, that whether it rains today or not is independent of whether it rained yesterday. So that is why I have written over here that probability of raining is Pt is equals to P. It's same for each and every day. So if this is the case, then obviously that the expectation of raining given Fatima is carrying an umbrella yesterday should have been greater than the expectation of rain given Mohan was carrying an umbrella yesterday. So that means if statement 1 is true, then statement 2 has to be false. So let me repeat it once more, that if statement 1 is true, then statement 2 has to be false. Now there are many situations that can occur. I can understand you might be confused a little. So I'm basically trying to look at the options over here and try to match it, because in the statement question only it says that which of the following is most likely to be true, because depending upon a lot of values and a lot of ideas, these things might change. So I'm just taking a look at the options and trying to figure out which one would be more appropriate. So if statement 1 is true, then statement 2 cannot be true. So that means the only thing that we are left with is option number A, because understand that in the all the other three options, statement 2 is true, that is what is given, so which are wrong. So that means the only viable option that you have for this is option number A, and this you simply get by eliminating the other options. So question number 26, option number A is your answer. Thank you.